This is Princess Jordan here. Like my mom's Queens of Queenz page.
Hey, BP, you a fool for this profit. Hey, I made it out. I made it out. They say I wouldn't make it. Guess I made it out. I made it out. I made it out. They say I wouldn't make it. Guess I made it out. I made it out. I made it out. They say I wouldn't make it. Guess I made it out. I made it out. I made it out. They say I wouldn't make it. Guess I made it out.
It's Queens of Queenz Radio here. This is Queen Myesha, and today's topic is a very controversial topic. I would like to introduce the other host of Queens of Queenz.
Epic evening, everyone. Queen Shavaka from Queens of Queenz Radio. Welcome. Thank you for chiming in.
Absolutely. So I was just about to tell everyone what the topic is tonight. The topic is church hurt. And we have some really good guests on our show tonight to share their experience and their point of view on our topic, which is called church hurt. And the next person I want to introduce is
Keisha. I'm here representing the King Dasi Youth Foundation. Thank you for having me on your show.
And you're welcome.
Absolutely.
All right, the next person is Queen Jani from Washington, D.C., representing the Waker Foundation. That's WAKER Foundation.ME in Washington, D.C. Thanks for having me on the show again, ladies.
You're welcome.
Next up, verbally back, is Dedan Kimathi. Peace and love to all the chat, to all of the panel. The listeners, one love, y'all.
Absolutely.
Shalom, Hotel. Nada. This is King Aijalon, the Lordansubu of Lordansubu. He produces at 707-331-7746. We ask you and encourage you to like, subscribe, comment. Tonight's topic, we're going in deep and might turn into a series. Let us know what you think, what you want to hear, and how you feel. We appreciate each and every one for tuning in.
Thank you, King Aijalon.
What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Syn-Q with Institute for Counter Racism Science, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the two guests that we have, the special guests we have on our show tonight, I mean, everyone else on the panel is our regular, the regular Kings and Queens discussion group. But the two ladies that we have that are our special guest is Jani and Keisha, and we are very interested in knowing their point of view on the churches in 2018. Absolutely. And their journey through the churches, and if they still go to church, if they don't go to church, and their story. So ladies, please let us know what you think and enlighten us.
Okay, Queen Jani, I'm gonna let you start off.
Go ahead, Keisha. I got a lot to say, and I'm trying to get my voice right.
Look, me too. Well, my journey with church, actually up until 2017-ish, I attended regularly since I was a child. Queen Keisha speaking.
Okay.
I attended regularly. I grew up knowing Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I was heavily in the church, raised my children in church. And things became, I should say, real to me when I lost my son, who was an avid church member, who had a relationship with the Lord, so, we thought. And my son wound up passing from cancer at a young age, and he believed that God would heal him, even doing, the things that we did our part. And so, as a Christian, you're waiting for the other part of the spiritual part of it. I was never a person that waited on God anyway, so I would always do my part and be like, hurry up, God. But when my son died in Christ, as I should say, and it just made me look a little deeper into my belief and what I had learned and had taught my children, and it just was a little disheartening. Through my grief process, the church family that I knew and my family, people that were Christians, I didn't receive that godly love and support that I thought we were supposed to give one another. And so it just set me out on a different journey of searching for the truth and not being a part of a systematic brainwashing cult. That's my personal opinion. And so since then, I've just been learning different things, and just I don't want to be bothered with church or religion any longer. Being that I found some truths in there, and just also people and what I thought was God was a big letdown to me. So, if I can say it that way.
Okay. And now, Janae, well, you hold on real quick. So before I asked Janae, what's your take on this? Can we all just say if we all go to church on a regular basis, and just really quick, if we were raised Christian, if we weren't, and then we'll go back to Janae, and Janae, you can have the floor. Now, me personally, Queen Myesha here, I was raised in church as a Christian. It was until probably my mid to late 20s is when I stopped going to church, to a Christian church. And I have my own personal reasons why I stopped that. But who's next? Queen Shavaka, how about yourself?
Queen Shavaka, I was raised in church. My mom gave her life to Jesus when I was 2 months. She was 2 months pregnant with me, and I do attend regularly, but I was raised Baptist, Pentecostal, and Baptist, Pentecostal, but I personally attend now non-denominational.
Okay. How about go ahead, were you still talking?
That was it.
Okay. How about you, Dedan Kimathi?
For me, me and my brother and my mother, it was growing up as a young man. Church for us was mandatory. It was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And like all of us on a panel, it was straight Christianity. And we all know the origins of, how we first came about with the Christianity. That was something that was given to us by a colonizer. At the particular time, I had no knowledge about any of that right there, and sometimes I used to be like, damn, we got to go to church again, man. It just was, I felt a different little spirit. I enjoyed church growing up. What I enjoyed about church was the choir, and the camaraderie with everybody. But as I grew older and started gaining knowledge of self, I got to looking at the church in a whole different light. It was basically somewhat of like a cult. And I got to seeing the work that was did. It was absolutely no work whatsoever. I'm looking around seeing people and impoverished, and it was just looking real terrible. Like,
Okay.
so that's my church story.
And King Aijalon, how about yourself?
Well, like Queen Shavaka, Pentecostal and Dasi, like Brother Dedan Kimathi, it was mandatory. I was raised by my grandmother, and it wasn't no way around it. And I don't even think I went to church to learn about Jesus, right? We met your grandson look so cute. Oh, Lois, your grandson looks so cute, right? Boy, go give me this, and your boy go give me that. It was because church, when I went there, when I really peeped it, it was a society within the society. Like how all the hurt that white people gave us, we would go to church, and we would feel comfortable, and we would celebrate us being us. Then we would use the Bible and Jesus as a tool for us to be free for that moment. And so, the church was pro-black when I was coming up during the civil rights movement and the social rights movement. And the church was mobilizing people to uprise, in a civil and social way. And the church had an agenda. So I never had a problem with the church. But then I started reading the Bible for myself, and I started seeing Egypt as being hated. Ethiopia was a wonderful land. It was tall and mighty. And then Mr. Gary introduced me to the African Bible. And then somebody else came out with the Black Bible. And so you start finding out these characters, right? But you had to praise Israel. And these people white was Jews, and these white folks was Christians and Roman Catholics and Angelicans. And then I started seeing all the denominations. Then I started looking at these the same motherfuckers who hung us and killed us and raped us and had picnics and barbecues. And I started questioning things. I started going to the library. I started seeing the concordance and biblical dictionary. And I started digging. And then I heard this movement called Rastafari. And they read the Bible. The Muslims read the Bible, especially the black Muslims, the black Hebrews, and just so many different groups use the Bible. And so one thing I did know, something about God had a relationship with black folks, and we were something really special to God, whether it was Jesus, whether it was Muhammad, whether it was Allah, whether it was whatever. And I started investigating, and I slowed down on the church. But I still go to church, like D-Man Kimathi said. That choir is a motherfucker. That church choir, if that choir don't got you moving, something wrong with you. That's supposed to continue. And that's part of my church.
Okay. And then Dr. Syn-Q, how about you?
So my background, my mother was Baptist, my father was Episcopalian, and that's like two total opposites because Baptists are like really liberal, Episcopalians are like conservative. So between the two of them, and just being me, they left it up to me to go to church. It was never mandatory. But my first church experiences were with the daycare center that I went to on Mama Harris and her husband, Reverend Harris. They had a church right next door to the daycare center, and they would write speeches for me and have me go up in front of the congregation and speak as a little boy. One day I questioned Mama Harris about God because I remember her telling me that that God was many colors, and so they had a picture of Jesus sitting at the Last Supper, and I asked her if he was many colors, why was he white? And she got totally just went berserk. She wanted to whoop me really bad, but my parents had given her strict instructions not to do that, and so she kept telling me that my dad was gonna whoop me, and I was really scared when my dad came to pick me up because I thought he was, but then she was like, I shouldn't question God, and my dad told her that if he whooped me for asking a question like that, then I would never want to ask a question again. So he was not going to whoop me, and he basically from that moment on started telling me about Islam, and saying that Africans were calling, that our true African culture was that we called God Allah, and that Christianity was forced on our ancestors, to make them slaves. And then, even though I had that information, my neighbors, the Mexican family next door to me, they went to church every Sunday, and they'd always invite me, so I'd always go with them. And also, I was baptized as a Catholic when I was a little baby, and then I was baptized as a Catholic again when I was 12, so I could go to Catholic school. So got a lot of Christian background there. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. So now we're going back to Janae. So Janae, please let us know if you go to church, and then just your perspective on church and the topic church hurt.
Church hurt. All right. Thank you guys again for having me on Queenz of Queenz. Make sure you like and subscribe to Queenz of Queenz radio show, everyone. And my perspective on church hurt in my background is I am a Southern Baptist. Okay.
Ooh, I love the Southern Baptist.
Yes.
Entertaining.
Southern Baptist background. So my parents did not actually go to church on the regular, but my aunt and my uncle, my great aunt and my uncle were ministers. So I grew up around the church and in the church and watching them in their ministries. And I used to want to go to church. I was one of the kids in the neighborhood that would go to church with anybody. Like you said, you gotta go. You can spend the night, but you gotta be ready to go to church Sunday morning. I was up before they were to go to church because my parents partied. I lived in the party house. Like my parents had my dad actually built a nightclub in the backyard.
Wow.
Okay. So I was glad to get away from the confusion and the partying and the people and everything like that, and then to actually go and see something that was more fulfilling. Like you say, the choir was something else. So yeah, that was my perspective on church, growing up Southern Baptist, and just really thirsting for knowledge. Like I've always been very curious about the Bible, and I've always read the Bible. I think I read it from front to back one summer, all the way through. And then I began to question things that I was learning in Sunday school and whatever, because I was like, it's not making sense. It never, and then when you think about it in your older age, it never made sense. Some of the things that I was reading in the Bible just did not make sense. Like, okay, the first story of Cain and Abel. Okay, Cain and Abel situation, one had a sacrifice, the other one wasn't that good, but how did they have wives and they were the only two people? It was only Adam and Eve and then Cain and Abel, right? And they had wives. So I was like, well, who did they marry? Did they marry their sisters? You know what I'm saying? Was they married to their sisters? And people my Sunday school teachers would be like, you ain't supposed to question your God. Don't worry about that. That's what the Bible say. That's just in the Christian faith. That's just what it is. You don't question God. You don't question what the Bible say. But I always had my questions or whatever. So now in my adult life, I don't attend a church. I would love to be a member of a nice congregation. There's actually one here in DC that I've been considering going to because they teach on African spirituality. But in my adult life now, I've studied other religions like Yoruba and some Islam and Buddhism and other things. I had Christianity kind of, once you see the inconsistency and you feel like, okay, somebody's not telling the whole truth here, I started looking elsewhere for something more tangible and more meaningful to my life or whatever. I do know that, my Christian values are still in place. I do understand that, you know, the people of the Bible and who they are and everything in that order, but actually going and being a part of another congregation where they don't question anything about the Bible, they don't teach anything outside of the Bible, I could never do that again because I've been exposed to knowledge and right knowledge and those are original, you know, books of the Bible. And you know, like this, we were talking about the original church in Ethiopia and how many things they omitted out of the Bible, you know, the book of Enoch and things like that. So, yeah, and it just, my church hurt, though, like, when you speak on church hurt, there's a lot of churchy people out here that is just, oh, you can't say that, you can't do this or whatever. I mean, I was on the women's ministry at my church. I was on the pastor's aid in Lilburn, Georgia, and I was married at the time, and I was seeking how to handle being a 25-year-old woman, married with 2 kids. Husband was not going to church with me. Excuse me. And just really trying to find myself and find answers and seeking God's face because I did not know. I didn't have, you know, my husband kind of alienated me from the rest of my family. So we were in Georgia. It was just me and my 2 kids. So church gave me something to do. Okay, I didn't have to work. I just was a housewife. So being a part of the congregation, I got to get really close to the pastor and his wife. And you know, and they groomed me. And they really, I mean, I had a very lovely church family in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? It's not them that initiated the hurt. You know what I'm saying? It was when I had to leave my church family and I moved back to South Carolina. And I brought the information that I had learned from Georgia to South Carolina. And one of the elders in the church in South Carolina, she asked me straight up, "Why are you here?" And I was looking at this old lady like, "What do you mean? Why am I here? Why are you here?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of question is that to ask a young mother who is seeking God's face? Why are you in this church? Why did you come here? And it troubled me because she was not open to what I had been exposed to, and that was I didn't come from the church in Georgia. It was a non-denominational church. It was Christian. It was I'm not gonna say their name, but we started learning at the end of our pastor was he was retiring, and at the end of his retirement, he started teaching Revelations, and he started teaching really hardcore Christian stuff that you would never like. If you go to church and you know what I'm talking about, you can repeat every sermon pretty much you heard from the time you was a child up until now. And you know what they're going to pick, you know, this Sunday, whatever. But he started preaching intensely, and the deacons came and stopped him. You know what I'm saying? They literally halted the whole lesson. Like, we were going through Revelations and all the stuff like that. He was really trying to wake us up and get us on board to what was going on. He taught us about ham and you know, we didn't celebrate Christmas. We didn't do Easter egg hunts. We didn't do any of that stuff. We did no, you know, excuse me. We didn't know. I'm sorry. We didn't know religious holidays because he was teaching us that it was all about paganism.
Wow. So wait, hold on. So in a Christian church, he basically told you guys not to celebrate Christmas.
Christmas. Yes,
I've never heard of that. Wow.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. That was why that church was the best church I ever went to, you know. But coming back to another Christian Southern Baptist church with that information, they were weary of me coming with the knowledge that I had, you know what I'm saying, into their church, because they still celebrated Christmas, they still did Easter egg hunts, they still did Halloween stuff, they still dibbled and dabbled into the paganism, in other words. So when the lady was like, why are you here? This is a whole other church in South Carolina. And I had, like I told us, I came here. My father lives here. I live, it's close by. I'm just giving a breakdown of why I'm at church. And I thought about it. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? I know better. I know what I've been taught. And I know what you're doing is wrong. And you're misleading people. You are leading people right there with these fake religions. This fake holidays, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. I'm sorry, guys. The fake holidays, and you got a pastor's aid. A pastor's love offering. You got a building fund. You got all these different offers and stuff like that. And you living and you still worshiping out of a storefront property. You know what I'm saying? And things like that they were doing that. And they went totally against what the Word of God said, right? So I came in as a threat because I had knowledge and she really didn't want me in the congregation. So finally, I just left. I left that church and I have not been back to a Christian church since then. And that was my church hurt. That was like the biggest thing because I really enjoyed being a part of a community or a congregation, or I knew there was things I could add to the ministry. But because I had knowledge outside of what they had been taught, I was a threat. So when you become a threat, you're a target. So that's all I would have to say about that. I could tell you some other stuff, but I don't think we got enough time for that. My throat hurts. Okay, but definitely churches are like mafias. They protect their own interests, and it was just sad. And the one thing that did attract me to the church in the beginning was the fact that the pastor used to go out into the community and minister in the neighborhood. But then all of a sudden, he stopped doing that. He stopped leaving the pulpit. And he stopped, and then he started opening up all these businesses and things like that. And then there's nothing wrong with the pastor having a life outside of the ministry. But it was just questionable, you know what I'm saying? It was just real uncomfortable for me at that time. So I backed out of church and I just started studying on with the Nuwapians. And I got that knowledge with them. And then I went further into the original books of the Bible. That's a book you can gather. And when I started reading the original books of the Bible, which is the script, it's kind of you read it in 3D. It's 3-dimensional. Put it like that, because you get the original book and the original wording from the Bible, the original Bible. You're reading the King James version of the Bible, and it's giving you the history behind where the information was coming from and why they put it in the Bible. So I'm reading this stuff, and I begin to hone in to the ancestors, tune in. Literally, I'm sitting there and I can hear bells and shit go off in my ear. Like, now I get it. Now I understand the Bible. Now I understand what I'm reading. But so in many years, I never understood it. It never really dawned on me that the story that they were telling was about me. Because I'm thinking, the whole time they talking about Jewish people being persecuted, not black people. You know what I'm saying? Because that Bible was given to us by our oppressors. And then when you go to school, they teach you about slavery and all this stuff like that. And it's like, okay, so is this this Bible, in other words, it's a division. Like they said, the separation between government and church, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? The division between church and state. But you split down the middle. Like you literally split. You're not even relating the information that this is me they talking about. You think they talking about these Jewish people that they claim to be the people of the Bible, but in all reality, when you do the research and you learn something, it's you the whole time. It's you in modern day time. Some of the stuff that we learned that I learned about in the Bible hasn't even happened yet. It's future stuff that's coming about. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but at the end of the day, once you learn the truth, you can't deny it. You can't turn your back on it. You can't look away from it. You can't sit in church and clap your hands and pat your feet and kiss the Holy Ghost and pretend like you don't know no better. Because now I do. You know, and it's a game. I've sat through some like it was a watch night service, and you know that's New Year's Eve, right? Sorry. And the minister started preaching about something about like you know the story where the girl was raped by her brother. And she was saying, "Take me to be your wife. Don't shame me." You know, I can't remember those stories, but he didn't read the whole thing. He only read some of it, and that just totally blew me off. I said, "Now, how would you not continue the story and tell the whole truth about it, but only take a passage out of it and try to make that into your sermon?" So that just lets you know the preachers can tell you anything. If you don't go back and read it for yourself, you'll never know. So that's just my whole thing. And I don't let nobody else put nothing in my head. I'm not indoctrinated. If I read it for myself, I read the information. I take away from it what I need to research it, try it. If it don't sit right, if it don't sound right, throw it away. That's all I can say. It's just black power.
Absolutely. Now, real quick, I've noticed that that Keisha got disconnected. So, Dr. Syn-Q, I think Keisha's going to be calling you to try to get her back onto the panel.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, wonderful. And thank you, Janae, for sharing that. With me, I think growing up in the church, I did get a lot of foundation, you know, and it kind of felt like when I did need, oh, and this is Queen Myesha speaking, but it kind of felt like when I was in trouble, like emotionally, mentally, or just in trouble and needed some help, I felt like I could go to that one building, that one place where I could hear the prayers, where I could feel the vibe, I could feel. It was all about how I feel. You know, I kind of felt it fed into to make me feel good. But on the other hand, when I wasn't on this very narrow track that they set, I felt like shit. And it was a kind of a thing where if you don't stay on this track, if you fornicate, if you cuss, if you lie, you feel bad. And that's what kind of drove me from one of the reasons, because I couldn't stay on this track. You know, I couldn't be this perfect person that they talk about in the church. So I might be going out on Saturday and come to church on Sunday morning, and all the things they're talking about, I did that on Saturday night. And I kind of felt like I started hating myself. And then I got into where I started researching the Rastafarian religion, and then going from there, and it kind of was like a domino effect, where I started questioning, why am I a Christian? My only thing in my head was, I'm a Christian because my mom is a Christian. Well, why is she a Christian? She's a Christian because her mama was a Christian. And then we go on and on and on, and then I started going on to, well, what did my ancestors learn before those slave ships came, before they even knew what the name Jesus Christ even meant? And then learning about how this was pressed on us. I mean, how basically a slave master wait outside the makeshift church And if there was one thing that was said that veered from the Bible, the slaves would get punished. So that's why I'm a Christian. And then also going back into the chapters of the Bible where basically white people extracted it and basically said it was okay to have slaves because the Bible said it. I mean, it was clear, it's clear as day, black and white. I wish I had those chapters here with me, and the scriptures in the Bible. But when I read that, something changed inside of me. Go ahead.
Slaves, be good to your master. Serve them as you would serve Christ.
There you go. That changed me. How can I sit up here and really still believe this when it was beaten, raped, and tortured into me? And the people who did it justified it by this book. Now, I'm not saying that everything in the Bible was wrong. There's some things you can extract and could help you, have a balanced life. But I believe that there are some things in there also that should be just left in there and not extracted. And that was one of the things, because many people suffered over those few scriptures. So I'm opening it up.
It's Queen Shavaka, and being that my mom, like I stated earlier, she was gave her life to Jesus when she was when I was 2 months in her womb, and being raised Pentecostal, when she first gave her life to Christ, but then she moved Baptist when I was 4, and so I attended the same church since 4 on up. And in the beginning, it was kind of like, this is what my mom did, so this is what I'm going to do, this is what I read. But Jesus isn't white, and he's from Bethlehem. He was if you read the scriptures, it says that he was bronze skin and his hair was like wool. That's not white or Caucasian, and I know that's the picture that people take of him. And so I just wanted to put that out there because I've heard that a lot. But my church hurt, and I'm going to share my church hurt, which led me to where I am today, is I married my high school sweetheart, and we went to church. He was raised in the church, I was raised in the church, and we had 2 children. And I was at a Baptist church when we got married. They paid for our wedding, reception, all of that. It was a very tight-knit community, this church I went to, until life happened. He had an affair. He stopped going to church. And we, legal separation. And this church, I remember my church was, this deaconess it was around Thanksgiving time, and I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter. And this deaconess, offered to give me a Thanksgiving dinner, but I was going through depression at the time because my husband just left and I'm pregnant. I got a 3-year-old that I'm raising on my own, plus a baby on the way. And she told me and my family, if Shavaka doesn't collect this Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to bless somebody else. And I was like, my husband just left and I'm pregnant and I'm going through things that are more pressing than a Thanksgiving dinner. And that's at that moment, I decided to stop going to church. And if religious people are like, this lady right here, we got to follow her because she's a deaconess and all of that, I don't want to go to church. But I had an encounter with God. I was walking with God. I was talking with God. Yeah. And I said, Lord, if this is your plan for me, deliver it to me. Because I don't know what to do, but I know I'm not going back to that church. And I was walking around the corner, and I actually felt a tug to the church I'm going to now, Spirit and Truth. And tug to go in there. I don't know these people. And I'm like one of those people, if I don't know you, I'm not going to enter your establishment. I'm not going to talk to you, have a conversation. And I felt the tug go in there, and I was like, hey, Mom, can you go in this church with me? Because I don't know these people, but I felt I need to go in there. And I don't know what that church is about. I don't know who's in there, but I feel like I need to be there. She was like, oh, I got a cold. I can't go. I'll go next time. Yada, yada, yada. I go to Sunday morning, waddling in there. I'm 8 months pregnant, waddling in the church. Mind you, I gave up on the church. This is my church. I gave up on the church. I wasn't even ready to go to church. I stepped foot in, the lady opened the door, and she was like, gave me the biggest hug. And she was like, oh my, I am so happy to see you. And I'm thinking in my head, who is this lady? Do I know her? Have we met? And I just can't remember her name. How rude would that be? And there was the praise and worship going on. This person was singing, "Come to the waters, all you thirst, you will thirst no more." And I'm like, who are these people? And sitting in there, moving forward in the sermon, like everybody was so accommodating, so loving, so gracious, so not like the church I was just left. And so the pastor started doing his sermon, and he said the Holy Spirit just pressed it upon my heart. And this is not what I had written in the sermon, but I don't know who this is for, but there's a woman here whose marriage is on the rocks. The Lord just said for me to tell you, if you would just trust him, surrender to him, he's going to make it better for you. And that was me. And I gave my heart, rededicated my heart back to the Lord, and I've never left this church since. And we're going on 10 years. But it wasn't the religion. It wasn't the letter of the word from the Bible. It was a relationship that I have through Jesus Christ and the people he sent to me to nourish that relationship. So what I wanted to just say that through, people put Christians under a microscope. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's walking on water. Everybody's going through something. In fact, it was because these people are so loving, so kind, so normal. Like, these are like, the church I went to, you have to go by the book. If you say fuck, you're going to hell. Where these people here, these individuals here are like, it's okay to be normal. Even the pastor will get on the pulpit and say, I'm not walking on water. I haven't arrived. I'm just somebody who has faith in God and what he has and the purpose that he has for my life. And the pastor even said, I'm speaking faith. I'm not speaking religion. So with that, that's my story of why I'm still standing with Christians. How important it is you can go through life issues, good, bad, ugly, and still believe God for something better. And I built my platform on that. So that's my story. That's it.
Well, I've never heard your story before, Shavaka, and that was really wonderful. I mean, I believe there's many roads to one destination, and in my eyes, I think that's why there's so many different religions and so many different spiritual practices. I think the goal of it is to have your balance and to love yourself, to learn how to love others. And if that's what you got from this church, if you got that from the church where you could love yourself and you have that support, then hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's many roads to one destination.
Sure.
And you might have someone else to come into the church and they just don't feel the same church, but that one's just not for them. They have to move on to somewhere else and maybe go to another spiritual practice. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. Someone needed to hear that. We haven't heard from. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we haven't heard from any of the guys. Have you guys fell asleep on the phones?
I think I'm quiet.
No. What? I'd like to say that I don't really have. I guess my church, that church hurt that I had was what I had said before when Mama Harris threatened to put me for questioning God. I too did learn later on about the scripture that described Jesus as having just described him as a black man. I remember that scripture, and but I want to say that the situation that I went through, it sent me on a journey, and I started studying all different types of spiritual belief systems and everything, and I came to the conclusion that I've to basically just recognize God in all religions, and I generally try to minimize conflict amongst my people, amongst Black people, by just usually someone come to tell me a message about Christ or something. I'll say, I've already heard that message, or someone to tell me something about Islam, and I'll let them know I've heard that message too. So it's where I'm at now in my spiritual beliefs. I practice it's called Lukumi, which is a traditional African belief system. But overall, when I'm dealing with my people, I just that's what I do. I recognize God in all religions. So, that's all I want to say.
Dedan Kimathi, King Aijalon.
Yes, Dedan Kimathi speaking. My church hurt came about when I just got to, critically thinking about how they said you can only make it through heaven by way of Jesus. And then, as a young man, I always, what took me away from the inner city, took me away from the ghetto, it was at Markham Elementary when I first encountered a beautiful book by the name of National Geographic. And I got to see a lot of different tribes and, people in Brazil in the rainforest, original African brothers and sisters who had no technology, no television. They just basically lived according to how nature is. And none of them even heard nothing about a Jesus or none of that. So I thought to myself, man, when they die, where are they going? Since they don't know about Jesus, that means they going to hell. And then I thought a little more in depth. Okay, heaven or hell. Who went to heaven or hell and came back and said, "Oh, this is what it is"? Nobody did that right there. Do we even know it's a heaven or hell? Keeping it real though, I don't believe in a heaven or hell. Once upon a time, I did believe in Jesus. Once upon a time, but now I agree with a very beautiful psychologist by the name, and may she rest in peace also, Frances Cress Welsing, who I love very much. She basically said, and I agree with it to the fullest, that she broke it down too. She spelled it out on her board, and it was Jesus. And then she chopped it in half with the J-E-S, and the U.S. was the only thing remaining. She was like, man, it's just us. And that's how I feel right now to this very day. With all of this pedophilia, all of this rape, all these mass counts of genocide all over the globe, if somebody really loved us unconditionally like that, like they say Jesus did, look, it wouldn't be no evil on this earth. And they say that the earth was given to the devil. How the hell you gonna love your damn people when you don't get a damn earth to the damn devil? It just didn't make no sense to me. So I just got to put two and two together, and a lot of that was, that the two and two added up, but everything else did not add up, because I could just count on my fingers, see 2 and 2 plus 2 equal 4. All the rest of that stuff was way beyond me even trying to put together, and it just didn't make sense. And how people walk into churches and just shoot up the church. They say Jesus saves, right? So you mean to tell me he didn't prevent Dylan Roof from going up in that church and killing them 9 beautiful brothers and sisters at the AME church? If Jesus really saved, I would think Jesus would be like, hold the hell on now, we ain't finna do this. You going up in my father's house killing saints who pray to me and love me. I think that if Jesus was really real, that he would have came back and prevented something like that from coming about. So all that right there is just no different to me, no different from a Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, and all the rest of the different little fables. So again, how you gonna let somebody go up in your house and kill saints? You know, it just didn't add up at all to me.
You made some really good points. King Aijalon. Is he still on the line? Do you guys know if he's still on the line?
He's still on. He's still connected.
Okay.
To me. Well, I'll speak more about it. This is Keisha again. I want to say how, Janae, how when you said that you learn some truth, and once you learn it, you can't sit there and listen to it again. I remember as a kid, I had questions. I remember asking my pastor, before the snake got cursed to crawl on his stomach, did he used to walk around? You know, and you can answer that. He's like, I don't know. And a lot of things, every time I ask questions, you would get to don't question God. So I question God a lot. And it seems like, to me, we ask God to forgive us for our sins. And I got to the position, I was like, well, shoot, everything that has happened to me, not by my own fault, God should be asking me for forgiveness and asking me to love him, because sometimes I felt like he slept on me a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But I forgave him because that was a Christian mindset that we were raised, that I was raised in. Don't question God. It's his plan. So I kind of went through life a little bit angry at him, but not able to express it and just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So when my son died, I was like, forget that. I need some questions. I'm going to ask some questions, and I need some answers. So I started going to the clergy. And even with my own common sense, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting it. What happened to the favor? I was not one of those fly-by-night Christians. We lived and designed. My life was around that relationship. It wasn't a religionship. It was a relationship. So to me, it's like God was not a good friend. You know what I'm saying? It's like you grab my son out of my hand and so when I would go to clergy and they, he know how you feel. His son died on the cross. So I'm like, okay, but his son rose again, supposedly, but mine has not. And then I started to question heaven. Where I'm like, okay, my dad been gone 10 years. I ain't heard from him. My grandma been gone 30 years. I ain't heard from her. And my other grandma been gone for 28 years. I ain't heard from her. So I need to. And where am I going to hear? Am I going to hear from my child? So I'm not going to hear from my child. So heaven became unreal to me. Then I started to read about Christianity. I've always read about it, but I had that spell over my head. So if it didn't go into my little boxes that I was taught and what I learned, I kind of just like pushed it. That's that philosophy. Even though it probably seemed better than the Christian way, but because I was a Christian, I didn't question God. I didn't question the book. I didn't do none of that. So, but my son used to ask me questions like, Mom, if God is so loving, why are there starving children in Africa? Why are there homeless people outside? And I didn't tell him, don't question God. I would say, you know what? You should ask them. Because I wonder those things myself. I didn't shut my children off because what they wanted to know, I wanted to know as well. So, and then when I read that the Vatican made up the Bible and that they put it to how they wanted it to be and made stories up
from our ancient history, from our spiritualism from Africa, and change the name and change the symbols to fit what they needed to fit, so they can keep us as black people in a box and brainwashed and stuck under a deity that thinking that we need to pray to somebody when we ourselves have the power to change whatever it is. They took the power from us and gave us religion. So that's what I've been learning through my journey now. And so it made me kind of angry, period. However, I'm learning that my son is now my ancestor. He does sit on the heavens as a star, and I can accept that more than him sitting in heaven waiting to reunite with me when I know that that's what they created. The white folks created heaven for black folks because they told us we didn't have a soul. So I just been soul searching. So my church hurt was just not a hurt, it was an awakening of truth that I can never sit in the congregation. I can't even listen to gospel music. You can sing it behind all, but it doesn't move me like it used to because I no longer deal with a feeling. I deal with a reality. That's what they want. They got us all caught up in our feelings and took reality away from us.
I agree 100%. What you were talking about, Keisha, is the Council of Nicaea that came on with the things in the Bible and they tried to tweak it and make it acceptable for the times. Because you can read the Bible right now, it sounds like it's going on right now today because they keep making versions of it. So every year they revise it.
We evolve. Things want to sound the same because we're constantly evolving. That's the things in the Bible have been fulfilled because the world's going to keep going. People's going to keep living. So when I said, Jesus is only 2,000 or so years old, but us as a people are millions of years old. So how do you even get that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, but I'm in a good place. I'm not mad at those who do their thing. And I just went to my congregation and told them, I stood up in front of my congregation and told them I do not believe any longer. My pastor almost had a heart attack. But because I want him to start telling the people the truth. If we start telling us as a people the truth, we can grow better. We can love ourselves better. We can deal with things better. But we are taught to depend on something else besides the power that lies inside of us. And that's actually when you pray, you're praying to yourself. Because when you get an answer, that's yourself. So I'm letting go right there.
And that's one thing I discovered when I kind of let Christianity go is that I have God inside of me and God is part of me. So I don't have to go and through Jesus to get my answers to God. He's always been here. He, she, whatever you want, the creator, source, whatever you want to call it, is within me and is me. And I always say to people, if Jesus was real, because I don't know, I never met him, I wasn't back there, haven't seen any bones. Could have been real, maybe not real, I don't know. But if the stories were real about him walking on water and turning water into wine, we have those powers. But I think that most of us on this earth, our brains are so clouded with bills and stress and all these things they bombard our mind with that we don't really know how to unlock these powers to walk on water. I know some people are like, oh, that sounds crazy. No, there's some things that we can do. The universe will yield to us. We have that power. But if you're always looking for somebody else to do it or some deity to do it for you, you're never going to get there. But when you know that you have that power, you have God power inside of you, and you are, they said Jesus was the Son of God. Yeah, I'm the daughter of God too. He made me, put this spirit inside of me and gave me all those powers that are in the Bible if I can unlock it,
Yeah, that's true.
And then another thing in the Bible that nobody can get through God except through him. That's right in his word too. And if you accept him, you are a new creation. If you accept him, into your heart, there He is in there. And the power within is when God sees us, He sees Jesus. That's what I believe. I mean, that's what I stand on.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we're taught. And so another thing that made me think is the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Those are all three men. Where is the reproduction there?
Where's
That's
the
why I
woman?
said, where's the woman? That's like a homosexual deity. So that's why you have the Catholic and all that bull going on.
Pedophilia, exactly. Yeah.
They look to that, and then you make God a rapist. Because so he's gonna take his wife and put a baby in her. Did you even ask the man? Because you get you just put a baby there.
But he did, and the word, it does say that the Holy Spirit came to Mary, and she said, "Do unto me according to your word." So she did give consent.
According to your word. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just real briefly, I don't have a lot of time. This being a church hurt. When I first got hurt, I told my grandmother I didn't believe in my white Jesus, like that. And like she told me the white man was the devil. And so I was like, contradiction. And then I started going to the encyclopedia. Where it talks about Christianity, Christ, the church. And then that led me to bibliography, which they all have in the library. So I started spending a lot of time at the library. And I started researching this thing called Christ, church, and Christianity, and how they developed throughout time. Then I heard about the Nicene Council, how the church was in Constantinople before moving over into Greece and Rome, the Ethiopian church, the Coptic church. And so I started following the timeline. I started watching how it developed. But what really hurted me is when the Anglican church, the Calvinist church, the Dutch Reformed church, and the Catholic church, and the Greek Orthodox church, and the Jewish synagogue, and they're spending money in the slave in the slave plantation. And how the Catholic church owns a lot of businesses, but the black church don't own anything. And how they allow the slave masters to set the gospel on what they were speaking, but they couldn't speak at church. Another thing that hurted me is when politicians came in, the pastor would be political. And then into our community, pastor had an effect. And so I stepped back and I started doing my research, and I stopped listening to what the scripture said, and I started looking at what the game was going on with the scripture. And that's my church hurt. I stopped fighting over whether Jesus is real or whether he's not. I just started looking at the game that the church had. Whether the scriptures is real or not, stop being like the same. I started looking at the money manipulation and the political manipulation. Thank you for letting me have a share in the topic of church hurt.
Thank you for sharing, King Aijalon. We thought for a minute we lost you. So we had a really wonderful discussion. We are almost out of time. Is there anything that anyone else wants to say? Like King Aijalon said earlier, we might turn this into a part 2. Let's just see how that goes. But does anyone else have anything to say?
I just wanted to say about the information is out there. You have to seek it. And anytime you gotta look outside yourself for God, it's not real. Anytime you guys look, if you have to look outside of who you are for something to make you feel better or make you feel complete or whole, then it's not real, because even in the Word of God, even if you read the Bible, it tells you what you should do. You know what I'm saying? It's all smoke in the mirrors, pretty much. That's how I had to look at it. Like, oh, okay, this whole concept that I gotta go through somebody else is not the truth. Christ is a consciousness. We all can develop a Christ consciousness. We all are Christ consciousness. We are. We embody Christ consciousness. We didn't say, and even in the Bible, it didn't say, become me. He said, do as I do. You know what I'm saying? Go the way that I'm going. This is how I'm going to my Father. Now, once he say, worship me. Now, the easiest way to end the argument with a Christian is to ask a Christian what religion was Jesus when he walked the earth. Was he a Christian? And they'd be like, well, of course he was. No, he wasn't. There was no such thing as Christianity. Right or wrong?
He just believes
so, that's right. You know what I mean? So you gotta just, you choose your battles. You know, I have a lot of spiritual stuff in my house, but at the end of the day, I know all of it resides within me. You know, I do have my altars and things like that. Like I said, I practice Yoruba. Once I started learn about Yoruba, that was more relationship. Like I can relate to my Orisha. Her story, yeah. My Orisha, yeah. I can really relate. Huh?
I said, let me hear that. Elegua, Ogun, Ochosi.
No, Oshun is my spiritual guide. Oshun, yes, because she had to Oshun had 2 children, and she had to give them up, and she cried a river, and she it was so many things about her that is relating to my personal story that I can take, and I can go to her. And I can make, as my ancestor and give offerings and give thanks for the sacrifice that she made. And it's altars all over Africa to Oshun, and things like that. So once you get into Yoruba, you'll find yourself more and more. So that's all, you know what I mean? But I'm not even a real hard Yoruba priestess or anything like that, but just learning about somebody I know look like me and that real experiences like what I've been through and gave up, and sacrifices like I have. But and then Queen Keisha, just real quick, I don't know you personally or anything, but I lost 5 family members in 1 year, including my mother, my grandfather, my aunt, my brother, and my father-in-law. Is that 5 or 4? Yeah, it's 5. You know what I'm saying? So I can totally relate. I can't relate to losing a child. I can't say that. But I can relate to your hurt and your pain because even being a Christian, and I had to pull my Christian faith in during that time, and I had to remember and stand on those words and those principles that I have learned throughout my life. So I can't throw the whole Bible away. And understand what I'm saying? I can't throw it away. I can only take away from it what I know in my heart to be true and what got me through that situation. That I was going through. I lost so many people from 2008 to 2010. The funeral home in my hometown was like, I know this is not your family. I said, yes. You know what I'm saying? And I had to keep burying family members over and over and over again. And that's what caused my separation and my marriage and everything. But I do know that the universal God is a sustainer. He will sustain you through everything. Everything within me, everything that's happened to me in my life, I have been taken well care of. And I haven't worked since 2014, and I'm good for anybody else. God is a sustainer The universe of God will protect you and guide you where you need to be. No matter where you feel like you want to be, He is putting you where you need to be. So that's all I have to say.
I accept that. Thank you. I accept that. I accept that the universe is putting me where I need to be on the path that's inevitable, obviously. And tell you when you say stand on the word, that's all I did. And so it bottomed out on me. So when what was true to me became untrue, I was standing in the middle of nowhere. Right. So from nowhere, I've had to look inside myself and find somewhere to go. And this is the path that I've been led to be on. So I take away from everything from this conversation today, and I understand everybody's walk is different. And I'm good. I'm in a good place where I'm at. And I just thank you for listening. And I'm glad you guys shared your experience. And Dedan, not Dedan, but Dr. Syn-Q, I can really relate when you said when you ask questions, you almost want to give you a whooping for asking questions. So a lot of times, too, religion shuts us up from asking and makes us, it shuts us up and it makes us like mute. And then we have to deal with things on the inside. So I'm at a good point where I don't hold anything anymore, and I deal with it, and I need answers. So I'm actually starting to feel much better. And thank you, Queenz of Queenz, for having us on here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely. So this is Queen Myesha here with Queenz of Queenz. This is called Kingz of Queenz discussion group. And we have the other host of Queenz of Queenz.
Queenz of Queenz. Queen Shavaka.
Absolutely. Look out for more discussions from our panel. Look out for more interviews, for more music. You can go to YouTube. That's Queenz of Queenz on YouTube. That's QUEENZ of QUEENZ. We're also on Facebook. And yeah, so would you guys like to reintroduce yourself?
QUEENZ.
Absolutely.
QUEENZ.
I like the way it feels coming out of my mouth by spelling it, but that's too easy. I don't want to say no double E. Don't mess up my flow. All right. So who was on the panel with us tonight?
All right. We have signing out Dedan Kimathi. I can be reached by way of Instagram, DEDAN724. I appreciate the whole panel. I love y'all very much. To the listeners, one love as well. Thank you for having me once again. Always a pleasure. I love y'all. Dr. Syn-Q, you can catch me on YouTube, dr.syn-q, on Instagram at Get Justice or Die, on Twitter at Get Justice or Die. Phone number 707-246-1517. And King Aijalon dropped off. I don't have I couldn't call him back because we're online. So.
Well, I'll have his information attached to this discussion if someone wants to contact him.
Okay. So everybody, like, share, subscribe.
Absolutely.
Comment.
All right. Please like, share, subscribe.
And this is Queen Jani. You can reach me at WakerFoundation.me. My phone number is 202-867-3200. You can also follow Mr. Joseph Waker. He is actually in Angola right now. So that's an exciting time. When he gets back, we're going to have some more information and hopefully get him back on the show too as well. So that's Janae, Jani, Cook, Cook, and Janae Earl on Facebook. And Miss Boss Lady Shay on Instagram. Okay. Thank you for having me, ladies.
This is Queen Keisha signing out. Thank you for having me on the radio. You can reach me at KingDasiYouthFoundation.org. In Vallejo, my number is 707-857-6950.
Absolutely.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, thank you guys. And thank you guys for being on the panel. And
thank you.
Yeah, and it was great show. And thank you for everyone who's listening and supporting us, and they're very enthusiastic waiting for our next discussions to be posted. This is Queen Myesha here, along with Queen Shavaka.
Queen Shavaka.
Yes, and take care till next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.